जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadeshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we'll continue our discussion on the Bhagavad Gita. We are on chapter 1, text number 24. Chapter is entitled Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra. Sanjaya Uvacha Eva Mukto Hrishikesho Gudakeshena Bharata Senayor Bhayor Madhye Sthapayitva Rathottamam. Sanjay said, O descendant of Bharata, Having thus been addressed by Arjun, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In this verse, Arjun is referred to as Gudakesh. Gudaka means sleep, and one who conquers sleep is called Gudakesh. Sleep also means ignorance. So Arjun conquered both sleep and ignorance because of his friendship with Krishna. As a great devotee of Krishna, he could not forget Krishna even for a moment, because that is the nature of a devotee. Either in waking or in sleep, a devotee of the Lord can never be free from thinking of Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Thus, a devotee of Krishna can conquer both sleep and ignorance simply by thinking of Krishna constantly. This is called Krishna consciousness or Samadhi. As Rishikesh, or the director of the senses and mind of every living entity, Krishna could understand Arjuna's purpose in placing the chariot in the midst of the armies. Thus he did so and spoke as follows. So we are continuing our discussion about the conversation between Arjuna and Krishna. And as mentioned here, Arjuna is addressed as Gudakesh. Earlier we saw Krishna being addressed as Rishikesh. Here also Krishna is addressed as Rishikesh. Rishikesh and Gudakesh, two important names, similar sounding names. Rishikesh means one who is the master of the senses. Rishika. Rishika means senses. And one who is the master of the senses is called Rishikesh. And Gudakesh means one who has conquered sleep. So it is said that when Arjun was a student in Dronacharya school, so there they would practice daily shooting arrows. So one time, it was night time, and the lights went off, the darkness, and Arjun was eating food. That's when the light went off. But still he continued eating. He picked up the food properly. He put the food properly in his mouth. Properly it went inside. So he thought, if I can eat food properly in the night, why can't I shoot arrows in the night? That's when he began practicing in the night. And he started practicing day and night. That's how he conquered sleep. And that's how he became a master of shooting arrows. So there are these people who can shoot arrows at the target without seeing the object. We hear the story of Dasharath, Maharaj Dasharath. He went on a hunting and there he heard the sound. He heard some sound and he thought it was an animal. And he shot the arrow. But what was that? It was not an animal. It was that person, Shravan. Shravan Kumar carrying his parents, elderly parents. And Dasharath's arrow hit Shravan. So old elderly parents, and Shravan was young son. And Shravan got hit by the arrow. And he died. So that's when his parents cursed Dasharath, saying, you also will die in separation from his son, your son. Your son will be away, and out of pain of separation from your son, you will die, just like we are dying. And then we know the story how Ram was banished into the forest and Dasharath died. The point here is there are people, kings in those times, who could shoot arrows at the target without the target being visible. Simply by the sound, or some indication. So in this way, Arjun became an expert at shooting arrows. That's how dedicated he was to that practice. So here Prabhupada says, because he was a devotee of Krishna, he could never forget Krishna even for a moment, even during his sleep. That's the nature of a devotee. We generally fall asleep when we chant Hare Krishna, right? We practice chanting Hare Krishna. We are listening to a class. We fall asleep. But great devotees, even when they are asleep, even in their sleep, they think of Krishna. That's the difference between us and them. So there is a nice verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna Surya Sama Maya hoy andakar. Yaha Krishna taha nahi mayara adhikar. What does it mean? Krishna Surya Sama. Krishna is like sun. And Maya hoy andhakar. Maya is like darkness. Jaha Krishna taha nahi maya radhikar. Wherever there is sun, there cannot be darkness. Right? They cannot coexist. Similarly, wherever there is Krishna, or remembrance of Krishna, or activities of Krishna, service to Krishna, there cannot be Maya. What is the difference between Maya and Krishna? Maya means the idea that I can enjoy separately from God. Sometimes we call this world as Maya Sansar. Sansari Maya Jivan, Maya Sansari Jivan, we say sometimes like that. Which means we are in Maya. Maya means the tendency is to forget God. The world is designed in such a way that you can forget God. So it's a challenge to remember God in this world. You need practice, you need instructions. It is not natural to remember God. Although we are made to remember God, we are by nature Krishna conscious. But the world is designed in such a way that there are unlimited distractions. So many distractions that our attention is taken away by many other things. And to drag our mind from those things and focus them on Krishna is a challenge. Right? You take the beads and try chanting Hare Krishna. What happens? The mind will run here and there. Right? We may be vibrating Hare Krishna, but our mind is somewhere else. We may be thinking of IPL matches or some movies or our office thing, our home activities. So many things to distract us. Mind will run to everything except Krishna. Right? Now, when we are watching a movie, we don't get distracted. ऐसा नहीं किया रे यार, I am remembering Krishna at the time of movie. That never happens. Right? Because that is so attractive. We naturally get attracted to movies or sports. When we are watching cricket match, we don't feel, अरे थोड़ा bore हो गया, let me chant Hare Krishna. That doesn't happen. But when we are chanting Hare Krishna, we get bored. And we want to watch something else. We want to watch the phone, check WhatsApp messages. And because we don't have the taste to practice spiritual life. But the world is dragging our attention in all other different directions. So therefore you need training. Training to practice remembering Krishna. Training to practice our attention towards Krishna. But Arjuna and devotees like Arjuna, great devotees, their mind naturally get attracted to Krishna without effort. For them to drag the mind away from Krishna is challenge. Everything in this world will remind them of Krishna. Just like Prabhupada gives the example of a mother or a father or a parent. If a mother has natural love towards a child, right? The child goes to school and then the mother sees some footwear, chappal, clothes of the child or some toys of the child. So what does the mother remember? The mother remembers the child, right? When the child is away, anything, any object connected to the child reminds the mother of the child. So in this way, the mother is always conscious of the child. And then the child comes back, then the child is there in front of her. The child is away, the mother is thinking of the child. So constantly the mother is thinking of the child. Similarly, a devotee, whenever the devotee is in association of Krishna, then there is direct interaction. But when Krishna is not in front of him, then anything that the devotee sees in the world reminds him of Krishna. So when you see sun and the moon, Krishna says, Prabhasmi Shashi Suryayoho. Rasoham apsu kaunteya Prabhasmi Shashi Suryayo. When the devotee sees the light of the sun and the moon, he feels this is Krishna's energy. When we drink water and taste that sweetness of the water, Rasoham apsu kaunteya. Krishna says, I am the taste of water. Pranavas sarva vedeshu. When a devotee hears any sound, especially the pranava, omkar, or any other sound, that sound reminds him of Krishna. Shabdakhe paurusham nrshu. Punyo gandha prathivyam cha. When, just like in the monsoon, beginning of monsoon, when there is a rain, that's nice smell comes out, earth ka fragrance. Krishna says, Punyo gandha prathivyam cha. I am that smell of the earth, pure fragrance of the earth. So when we see that, when we get that fragrance, we should remembering Krishna. Tejas chasmi vibhavaso. Anything splendorous is my energy. Jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapas chasmi tapasvishu. I am the life of every living entity. So that way, anything in the material world reminds a devotee of Krishna. That's Krishna consciousness. So we just need an excuse to remember Krishna. In the 10th chapter, Krishna gives a list of so many things. Vibhuti Yoga. 10th chapter is called Vibhuti Yoga. Matlab, Krishna gives a list. In this category, this is me. In this category, this is me. Among fishes, I am the shark. Among animals, I am the lion. Among mountains, I am the Himalayas. Among birds, I am what? I am Garuda. So in this way, Krishna says, I am this among this, this among this, this among this. So that when we see that particular thing, we should remember Krishna. So in this way, a devotee is constantly Krishna conscious. So here Arjun's characteristic is given. Arjun conquered sleep and ignorance just because of his remembrance of Krishna. Because wherever there is Krishna, there is no Maya. There can be no darkness. So Arjun's practice is given here. He is to constantly practice. And that's how he became the best fighter. Sometimes there is a comparison between Arjun and Karna. Who was the best fighter? Who was the best warrior? And sometimes we may think, because Karna didn't get opportunities, he was discriminated against because of his low birth, and therefore he didn't get facilities. Therefore he couldn't excel in his skills. But the Mahabharata describes several instances where both of them had an encounter before the war. 2 times they directly encountered, 2 times they indirectly came together. So when was that? Indirectly they came once during Draupadi's Swayamvar ceremony. So we know the story how that fish was there and they had to hit the target, right? And all these kings tried. Duryodhan tried. Karna also tried. And Karna was rejected by Draupadi because of his origin. And then Arjun did, and Arjun successfully hit the target. So when Arjun won the competition, there was a fight. All these kings came together and they started fighting. And in that instance, Arjun defeated everything. Arjun and Bhima defeated everyone. There was not a direct fight between Arjuna and Karna, but overall there was a battle happening, and the Pandavas came out victorious. Another instance they came together was during the Vanvas period. Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki. When the Pandavas were in Vanvas, 12-year Vanvas, that time, one time the Kauravas went to the forest to show them, look how we are enjoying life. You guys are suffering in the forest, and look, we are enjoying life. We have all the facilities and all the luxuries, best food, best everything. You people are useless. So just to show them, show off, do a show off, Duryodhana and his brothers went to the forest, just very close to where the Pandavas were staying. So there was a river kind of thing, river or lake. The Pandavas were staying on the other side. Kauravas camped here. And they wanted to enjoy the lake. So when they tried to enter the lake, someone challenged them. It was a Gandharva named, Chitraratha. The Gandharva said, you cannot enter this lake. This lake belongs to me. So you cannot enter. Duryodhana said, how can you challenge us? We are the emperors of the planet. We are the kings here. No one can challenge us. We will enter. And when he tried to enter, again he challenged them. So there was a fight between the Gandharva and Kauravas. And in that fight, the Gandharvas defeated Kauravas. They arrested Duryodhana and everyone, especially Duryodhana. And they arrested him. So the other soldiers, they were in panic. And so Karna tried, Shakuni tried, everyone tried to release him, but they couldn't. The Gandharva was very powerful. So finally they went to the Pandavas. They knew the Pandavas were there, staying there. So some soldiers went there and requested help. They went to Yudhishthira and said, look, Duryodhana got captured and this is what happened. They narrated the whole incident and said, please help. So Bhima was happy. Said, जो हम नहीं कर पाए इतने सालों से, गंधर्व ने कर दिया एक दिन में. So, and Arjuna was happy. So, but Yudhishthira said, no. He's our brother. Our brother. So, we should help him. So, and he ordered Arjuna and Bhima to go and fight with the Gandharva, release Duryodhana. So, both of them went to the Gandharva and challenged him, release Duryodhana. So, Gandharva was actually a friend of the Pandavas. He said, why do you want to release him? He came with an evil intention and he wanted to do some mischief. So why do you want me to release him? He said, no, this is the order of Yudhishthira Maharaj, so we have to release him. So he didn't agree. And then there was a fight. Bhima and Arjun fought with the Gandharva. And Arjun defeated him. And finally, the Gandharva released Duryodhana. And then Duryodhana felt so humiliated. Finally, he went back. He said, Arey yaar, my enemies, they helped me come out of the captive. The point here is, here also, Karna was defeated by Gandharva and Arjun defeated Gandharva. So indirectly, it proves that Arjun was superior to Karna. There was not a direct fight. But in this game, we understand who was superior in skill. Then there are two instances where there was a direct encounter. Which are those? One was during the Virat Parva. So in the Virat Parva, all these, the Pandavas were in captive, in disguise, Agyatavas. And the Kauravas attacked. At that time, Arjun went and fought with them. Fought with all these Kauravas individually. There he directly fought with Karna and defeated him. So in this way, there are instances, one more instance, I don't remember, where there was an encounter and Arjun defeated. So all these cases show how this argument that Karna couldn't excel in his skill because he was deprived of his facilities, because of his low birth, this is not true. So usually, we get opportunities by destiny. But how we utilize them and make the best use of destined opportunities, that is up to us. We cannot keep complaining and say, what to do, I didn't get the opportunity, I didn't get the facility. That's a very complaining attitude. And it doesn't help. Arjun never complained. Arjun could also have complained, right? Oh, we had to go to the forest, we went through Lakshagriha, we were insulted. He never complained. In fact, the Mahabharata describes when they were in the forest, Arjun made the best use of facilities. He learned all the skills, all the astras and shastras by learning from various people. He went to the heavenly planets also for 6 months. And there he learned many skills from Indra. He learned some skills from Shiva, Lord Shiva. And so many other sages gave him nice wisdom and knowledge. He didn't complain. Oh, we are in the forest, what to do? We can't do anything. There is no point in living. No such thing. But Karna was always complaining. Always he complained about low birth, I am discriminated against, I am insulted. Although he had all the facilities, right? He was living in the king Raj Mahal. He was the king of a region. But still he complained how people are insulting me. So there's a difference between a winner and a loser. So in this way, in this purport, in this way, Gudakesh is described. Gudakesh means someone who conquered sleep. And Arjun practiced severe austerities, tapasya. Even in the forest, the Pandavas were living with barely fruits and roots and all these things. They didn't have big feast to eat. When they were in the palace, they had all the facilities to eat good food. But here they hardly had any good food. And they had to do a lot of tapasya. To see Lord Shiva is not easy. Okay, Shivji ka darshan milna, not an easy thing. Go to heavenly planets is not easy thing. So in this way, they would practice intense, severe austerities. And that's how you gain power. To gain anything in this world, you need to practice austerities. Even if you want to win an Olympic medal or cricket match, you need to do a lot of practice. Right? All these sports people, cricketers and football players, they have to do such a strict regimen. Early morning they have to practice and exercise and gym, and they have to eat regulated food. They can't eat anything. Food is controlled, diet is controlled, nutrition is observed, proper practice, daily practice, sleep is controlled. So when a person puts effort in regulated life, disciplined life, then you get the result over a period of time. Someone who is not going through the discipline, he cannot expect results. A student, for example, if he wants to secure good marks, he has to study hard. Disciplined study, daily study, coaching classes and assignments and tutorials. Then if he does it for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, then he scores. Like someone wants to clear IIT, advanced IIT exams, then he has to put a lot of effort. So much training. Or any other MBBS or MD. So one who puts disciplined effort in a certain field, such a person gets result. Similarly, if you want to achieve results in the spiritual field, spiritual life, then accordingly we have to maintain discipline. So Prabhupada writes in one place, to conquer the material ignorance, one has to conquer eating, sleeping, mating and defending. regulated eating, regulated sleeping, regulated mating, regulated defending. All these bodily activities have to be regulated. You can't eat anything, sleep anytime, get up anytime, indulge in all kinds of sense gratification. ऐसे नहीं होने वाला है. And expect I am advancing spiritually. It doesn't happen. Therefore, getting up early morning, Brahma Muhurta time. Right? Brahma Muhurta is the period before sunrise. 1.5 hours before sunrise. The sunrise at 6 o'clock. Then you have to get up at 4:30 or 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, if you get up, then 4:30 to 6 is the best period to practice spiritual life, to practice meditation, to practice yoga, everything. Now, you can practice any time throughout the day. But that period is the best period. So just like if I want to do business, if I have a shop, and if I want to sell my product, when will I open my shop? Daytime, right? जब customers है बहुत सारे, that's when I will open my shop and sell my products. I can't say नहीं अभी बहुत नींद आ रही है ना, मैं रात को 1 बजे खोलता हूँ. That's not going to happen. You may open the shop, but then no one will come, and you won't make money. Similarly, if I want to practice spiritual, there is a time. For business, there is a time. For entertainment, there is a time. For spiritual life, there is a time. And if you do it at that time, you get maximum results. If you cannot do at that time, then you may do at other times. But then the results will be a little different. You may open a shop night 12 o'clock also, and you may make some money. But to make maximum money, you have to open at daytime. This time, this is the time people do shopping. So therefore, intense, regulated, disciplined life, regulated life, following proper guidelines, when we do it for years throughout our life, then we start tasting success. There are so many examples of great acharyas and devotees who have practiced intense spiritual life. And the Chaitanya Charitamrita describes the story of Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami was one of the close associates of Lord Chaitanya 500 years ago in Jagannath Puri and Bengal and Vrindavan. So it is said about him, he would daily chant 64 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra. 64 rounds मतलब कितना हो गया? 1 lakh names. If you chant 16 rounds, it is 25,000 names approximately. If you chant 64 rounds, it is 1 lakh names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. 16. So 1 lakh, if you do that, is approximately 64 rounds. So he would chant 64 rounds daily. And he would offer Dandavat Pranams to the deity of Krishna, to Govardhan, 1,000 times a day. Just imagine, 1,000 times you're like Surya Namaskar. And he would offer 2,000 obeisances, 2,000 pranams to devotees of Krishna daily. It's a big number. And he would daily find time to discuss the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya with his associates. Whatever he had experienced when he was in Jagannath Puri, he would share those memories with his friends in Vrindavan. And one of the members of his audience was Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who later wrote the book Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because he was regularly hearing from Raghunath Das Goswami, he later on became the author of the book Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is a classic. We have Prabhupada wrote the translation. It's a BBT publication. It's all because Raghunath Das Goswami was sharing. So this is how they lived. When he first wanted to meet Lord Chaitanya, his home was in Bengal, and Lord Chaitanya was staying in Puri. So he had to travel from Bengal to Puri. So one night he left home, and he was so desperate to meet Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he just walked through the forest area. without any eating, without any sleeping, without any drinking. Barely he would eat something, and it took 12 days to reach Jagannath Puri. Somehow or other, forest path. He didn't worry about, oh, wild animals are there, who will protect me, who will give me food. His parents are millionaires. They were like the local zamindars, very rich people. But he didn't take any facilities from them. And without any facilities, he walked. By the time he reached Jagannath Puri, he was like totally exhausted. But then he was desperate to take the darshan of Lord Chaitanya. And then Lord Chaitanya welcomed him nicely, gave him nice food and shelter, and he came back. But that's how, if you want to achieve the goals, spiritual goals, then these people do all kinds of austerities. They go to any extent. Rup Sanatan Goswami, they also lived, it is said, Nidrahara Vihara Kadi Vijitau. They conquered Nidra, sleep, Ahar, food, recreation. All these things they conquered because they were focused on the goal. Krishna also in the Gita says, in the second chapter, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Ekeha Kurunandana. Person who is resolute in their purpose, focused on their purpose, their intelligence is one-pointed, single-pointed. But those who have irresolute intelligence, their intelligence is divided over many, many things. ये भी करना है, ये भी करना है, ये भी करना है, ये भी करना है. हजारों चीज करना है. And then you don't get the result because your intelligence is distracted. Bahushakha hyanantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam. Persons who have multiple focus, their intelligence is divided. So therefore, even in our history, we had Bhakti Tirtha Swami, Prabhupada disciple from America. He also was very, very intense in his practice. It is said that he felt, because I am from a country where there is no culture of spiritual life, I am a very sinful person. I have a degraded birth, so let me practice more intensely than the regular standard practice. So Prabhupada used to say we should chant 16 rounds, but he said I need to chant more. I need to practice more intense. He would chant 30 to 40 rounds, 45 rounds daily. He would get up early in the morning, go to sleep in the late night, hardly would sleep anything. Even Prabhupada's life, if you see, so it is said that even big CEOs of companies, they also don't sleep much. 4 hours, 5 hours, maximum 6 hours these people sleep. And they are the CEOs of big Twitter and Microsoft and Amazon companies. So they say because they have conquered sleep, good Akesh. Therefore they are able to achieve all these things. So even to achieve something material in the material world, one has to get over the demands of the body, food, sleep, entertainment. So Prabhupada's life shows how he hardly slept. He would go to sleep at 10 o'clock in the night and get up by 12:30 night. And then he would start writing, translating books, translating the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and writing other books. And that would continue till 4:30. And then other devotees would wake up for Mangalarti. And in the day, he would sleep sometimes 1 or 2 hours. So altogether 4 hours maximum he would sleep. So in this way, if we have to achieve results, then we have to do this tapasya. The Srimad Bhagavatam, the teachings of Lord Rishabdev. Rishabdev is instructing his 100 sons, headed by Bharat Maharaj. He says, Nayam deho deha bhajam riloke Kashtan kaman arhate vidbhujamye. Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shuddhed yasmat brahma saukhyam tvanantam. So Rishabdev is teaching, Nayam deho deha bhajam. Okay. Oh my sons, don't use this human body for enjoying ordinary pleasures of life. Kashtan kaman arhate vidbhujamye. You work hard day and night, morning till evening, to do what? To enjoy simple pleasures, petty pleasures, which are available even for animals. Vidbhujam. Vidbhujam refers to pigs and hogs and other animals. Even these animals get their quota of enjoyment without working hard. Why do you have to work so hard to enjoy those same pleasures? Which pleasures? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. These pleasures are available even for the animals without hard working. Why are you working so hard to get those pleasures? Instead, tapo divyam putraka. O my sons, perform divine tapasya. Yena shuddhed yasmat. Yena sattvam shuddhed. By which you can purify your existence. Tapasya should be performed to purify one's existence. Purify one's existence means to get rid of all the negative thoughts and qualities we have in our body and mind. Getting rid of them. That is the main purpose of performing tapasya. Don't perform tapasya to extract petty pleasures from this world. That is insignificant. You should perform tapasya to enjoy superior pleasure, superior happiness. Yena sattvam shuddhed yasmat brahma saukhyam tvanantam. Work for that pleasure which is endless, never-ending pleasure. Why run after pleasure that has limited value? Right? So we enjoy pleasures that are like good food maybe, which is not nothing wrong in eating good food and enjoying. That's not the point here. But if our focus of our life is just enjoying these temporary pleasures, then we are missing the point. Rishabdev says, there is an unlimited source of happiness, there is an unlimited pleasure, which is your birthright. Human life allows us to access unlimited happiness. Why not utilize your precious human body to access that? So in this way, there are so many references in the Srimad Bhagavatam and other sections which is urging us. Athato Brahma Jigyasa, Upanishads tell us. Now that you have achieved a human form, now start inquiring about Brahman, Brahma Jigyasa. We all have Jigyasa, but we direct our Jigyasa in the wrong direction. Jigyasa about this world, Jigyasa about trivia. Brahma Jigyasa. To Brahma Jigyasa means start inquiring about deeper aspects of life, deeper realities of life. And once we understand that, Brahma Saukhyam Tvanantam, we can enjoy unlimited happiness. Therefore, all these characters and stories that we find in the Puranic literatures, the Srimad Bhagavatam, are examples of people who have either failed to utilize their human body or successfully utilized their human body, so that we can learn. Hiranyakashipu he also performed tapasya. You know the story of Hiranyakashipu, right? Prahlad's father. He also performed intense tapasya. He was standing on one leg, not one leg, the toes of the leg. And he stood there for several years. And it is said that ants started eating up his body, flesh. But he didn't move. And an anthill was formed over his body. And his body was covered with anthill. But he continued his tapasya, meditating on Lord Brahma. And after several years, Lord Brahma appeared and blessed him. No, he wanted all those blessings. He became so powerful by the blessings of Lord Brahma. He became almost the king of the universe. No one was equal to him. But then how long did his power last? Because he misused his power, he performed tapasya. He got powers. But he misused the power against his own son Prahlad, because of which he lost all his powers. He hardly stayed for 5-10 years. Narsingadev came and killed him. So what is the use of tapasya? His tapasya was directed to obtain happiness of this world, pleasures of this world. But then that is temporary. He lost everything because of his offenses against Prahlad. But if we direct our tapasya in the right direction, then we can enjoy real, unending happiness. Therefore, from Arjuna's example, we see this. Arjuna, being a great devotee, he also did a lot of austerities, followed discipline, and he became a successful warrior. Therefore, he is called as Gudakesh. So, we'll continue our discussion next week on the same topic. Any thoughts? Anyone wants to share? Any comment? Thank you so much for your participation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for this enlightening class that you gave. I loved your analogy of Arjun and Karna and how you busted popular myths. Prabhu, you spoke about training or undergoing tapasya to awaken your Krishna consciousness. And you also said that we are naturally Krishna conscious, most of us. So aren't these statements a little contrasting?
We are naturally Krishna conscious, that's our inherent nature. But in the material world is covered with so many conditionings. So therefore we have to put effort. We are naturally Krishna conscious, but the place is not favorable for Krishna consciousness. Our natural propensity is to be Krishna conscious, but we are situated in a place that is anti-Krishna conscious. So therefore we have to work hard. It's like going against the current. So we know swimming, but we have to go upstream. Downstream is natural, spontaneous flow, but you have to go upstream. That's the current. The current is to drag you away from Krishna consciousness. The material world is current. Then we have to go upstream. Therefore, effort is needed.
Thank you, Prabhu.
All right. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki. So there's a nice course coming up. It's called the Sutras of Self-Discovery.